right, so welcome to the second draft. This one is for superheroes. It has been broken down into 8 rounds. We have flight, speed, strength, magic, totem, which is that they get their power from an item, science, and 2 flex positions, which can be any of the above or a mix of multiple powers, shall we say. This one I think will cause a little bit more disagreement because I think we'll disagree on what people fall under. But here we go. So last week's one was won by myself, so I will be picking last. I know that people will disagree with that, but there you go. So starting off this draft will be Kevin. So I guess we'll jump straight into it, and you can make your first pick.
All right. So I did not expect to pick first. So I'm a little thrown off and kind of messing my board a little bit, but we are going with everybody's favorite illegal immigrant, Clark Kent, aka Superman. I think that total package. I think that for him, I'm going to pick him under flex. I'm going to pick him under the mix. I think that he's actually hyper intelligent, which people do not as smart as Batman, obviously, but he's actually very intelligent. Understands science and stuff of that nature. He's also probably one of the strongest people in DC, fastest under everyone in the Flash family. A litany of powers that make him a powerhouse. Easily physically one of the strongest to the point where I think he was punching a villain of his in Antarctica, and they could hear it in low orbit on the in the Tower of Justice. So I'm going Superman, man. I think Superman is a phenomenal first pick. I think between him and the boy in Gotham, I think those are the 2 first picks that anyone should be taking right now, honestly, personally.
So I figured he'd probably go relatively early, but I kind of have my doubts just purely because of the weakness issue. And that to me is a red flag if I was drafting him. But, anybody else got anything to add on it?
My only thing about Superman is, and not just the weakness, he's weak against something that came from the same place as him. Like, could you imagine if it was like that with like regular people? Like if you were allergic to the thing that was like from your hometown, that'd just be really weird.
Okay, I hear you. So I guess I go next, Scott. I don't. By the way, I do not disagree with you, Kevin. I might have to get a coin and flip it here because I have to take one of the 2. I have to take one of the 2 orphans here. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna go with Spider-Man, and kick Batman straight to the wind, because Spider-Man is the epitome of never quit, and on top of that, he's a great story. I mean, given a power at such a young age by accident, so to speak, and then running with it and becoming one of the greatest superheroes of all time, is. To me, it's great, and that's why I put him above Batman, because Batman has money, and that's it. And for him, I would probably put him. Okay, I have a question. Is he technically science? Because Spider-Man now uses technology.
You've got to declare where you're drafting him. We can agree or disagree, but if that's where you're. That's just
on my board. He is under as a mix. I don't actually have him under as one specific thing because I didn't feel he fell under any of the other ones. But
good. Well, he's gonna be under science for me because he uses technology. Between his web shooters, the upgrades to his suits that he makes. And now he controls those spider robots. The little nanites, all that kind of cool stuff that he does. And also, one of the greatest story arcs of all time is Superior Spider-Man, where it is actually...
Can I interrupt?
Yes, go ahead.
So I will say that, yes, I do see Spider-Man in science for a few reasons. One, he immediately out of college gets a job with Stark Enterprises. So he does become a scientist, like almost out the gate. Anytime they write Spider-Man, he's, the moment he's an adult, he's working at Stark. So I get why you would put him in science. I'm not against it. I think it works. I think that's going to be the most controversial part of this, this whole draft is the fact that, there are characters that are, that are encompassing. There are characters that are across the board, like they have multiple things. Not my favorite science pick. I think that you picked science a little too early, especially if you're going to throw Spider-Man into science. I think you could have done a little bit better. But you know, you do you.
Hey, look, I did it because of my favorite my favorite Spider-Man arc is Superior Spider-Man, which everybody should read at least 10 times.
All right, so Preston, where are you going?
All right, I'm glad you guys went there because I'm going to take the obvious first pick. It should have been obviously is I'm going Batman. I mean, I'm putting him in my flex position. There's so much to like about him, and my favorite thing about Batman is that at any point in time, we've probably sat there and said, you know what, that guy really just needs to get punched in the face. I really wish I could do that and nobody would know it was me. And that's exactly what Batman is. I'm admiring vigilante justice too much with him, but that, and I would like to be a billionaire as well. You know, he's got that going for him, but I'm going Batman. Thank you guys for passing that
up. Okay, so it's an interesting pick to put him there. I
think he worded something wrong. When you say flex, do you mean mix or do you mean what is he science? What is he for you?
Well, we eliminated the other two categories, right? So we only have those 6 and then 2 flex spots. No?
Yeah, I get what Preston's saying.
The flex can be whatever you want. It can be a mix of powers or one from the other categories. That was my understanding. All right, that's what you're going with?
I thought too. Yeah.
Okay. So I have 2 picks back to back. Let me think for a second. So my first one I'm going to go with is our favorite Asgardian. And we're talking about a dude that can lift the weight of 20 planets is just unreal. I mean, like, he's a god. I mean, that makes him pretty much invincible. So I will go with Thor, and he will go in one of my flex spots. And then I will be going with my next pick to get the kind of run on these guys. I am going to go with Bruce Banner himself. I'll go with the Hulk.
Where you put him?
And obviously, he's going to go under strength. Again, I think one of the things that I like about him is that he's just like famous, and I guess that's one of the things I'm looking at, how I can get some votes here and get, have my team look good. So a lot of people but no, look, I mean, from what my understanding is that the Beyonder once analyzed him and said that his strength had no finite limit on it, and that to me is a win in the strength category. And I think probably would give anybody in the strength category a run for their money.
Yeah, so. I totally agree with you. And the Hulk was probably going to be my second or third pick, just so you know, just in the strength category, based off of, like I said, his strength is essentially limitless as long as he stays awake. And even then, which actually has been shown through comic books and movies, is that even when he's asleep or whatever, he's like half unconscious, his, Hulk decides to come out and play whenever he really wants to in that regard.
All right, so Preston, we are back to you.
All right, this is where I'm going to have a little bit of trouble this week, similar to, what Kevin had said last week, where I'm kind of focusing on, my familiarity and kind of piecing these together. So for my science category, I'm going to go with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. I'm putting him in there. I'm sure he could fit into flex category as well, but as brilliant of a mind as he has, I'm going with Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic.
Just to put in perspective,
I mean,
I want to tell you. Sorry, you first.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Just to put in perspective, I think that's a great pick. He was actually, for science, he was second on my board. I'm a little nervous. I think Tyrell might pick my first. But the thing about Reed Richards was, after the world of Marvel fell apart, he was one of the architects to put it back together. That's how intelligent and smart Reed Richards is. He's definitely one of the easily top 5 tier like science, just science-minded individuals in Marvel. So just looking at that, like, no, that was a phenomenal pick to take him early, especially as your science pick. So yeah, no, that was a great pick. Wow.
All right, so Tyrell, we're back to you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just fixing my my draft board as Kevin is right now. I could tell. So I am going to go with with somebody for me. I'm going to get Speed out of the way because there's only very few Speed characters that's worth anything to me. And to me, it is the best Flash, the greatest Flash, Wally West. Yeah, roll your eyes. Wally West is the greatest speedster this side of the Mississippi and the other side at the same time. Okay, not only yeah, thank you, dude. He sacrificed himself several times over. Okay, he's a family man. He helps. He's one of the only people that understands that the New 52 was a thing, is brand new, and the fact that there is a different universe that existed before then. Okay, he's one of the only characters that can do that. And now I just read that he just sat in that special chair. Well, all the cool guys get to sit like Hal Jordan and Batman, and now he's like this this all-knowing being. It's an O word. I'm omnipotent, something stupid like that. Anyway, Wally West, the greatest Flash ever. Screw you, Barry Allen.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I feel like the speed bracket is so limited on what we have. But certainly, one of the original speedsters, the 1940 was the first time we see Flash. So, I mean, we all know that pretty much all the Marvel characters pretty much come after DC. But yeah, Kevin, you have 2 picks now.
Real quick, before I go into my 2 picks, it's wild that you picked Wally West as your speedster. I mean, you could have picked Barry Allen, obviously, but you could even pick like Quicksilver over Barry Allen or over Wally West, but you straight went Wally West. I respect it because you gave a bunch of good reasons. The fact that he sat in, I can never remember the name of that chair, but the fact that he sat in that chair, I get it 100%. But for my next 2 picks, so just to be safe, I'm gonna go science next because I don't want anyone to take my science pick. It's actually one of my favorite superheroes personally. Overall, because they kind of touched on mental health with the superhero and touched on what he went through and a lot of the issues that he had, the fact that he deals with depression, which is something I deal with, full disclosure. And I love that about this character and the fact that he has manic episodes and depressing episodes. So they understood depression when they wrote this into him. I'm going with the man who actually, for those of you who only watch the movies, created Ultron. I'm going with Hank Pym Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man. I think he's phenomenal. The fact that he is the AI, artificial intelligence in Marvel, all of them view him basically as their god. Like they view him, they call him their father. So like for me, Hank Pym, overall, like my favorite science-based superhero, the smartest man in Marvel, hands down. You can say Iron Man all you want, but no. Iron Man goes to Hank Pym when he has a problem solved. So I'll let you guys tell me if that was bad, good, whatever, and then I'll make my second pick.
Go ahead, Tara.
I was having this conversation with my girlfriend earlier about Hank Pym, and whilst he is a pioneer and he's fantastic, the ultimate storyline just made him seem like an absolute scumbag. But also on top of that, the ultimate storyline is for some reason just Scumbag University. But I get it. It's a great science pick. I mean, I think mine was better, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally get going for if you're going to go Ant-Man defining it as Hank Pym as opposed to the other 2 versions of Ant-Man that have come afterwards. So, yeah, good pick. A little bit of a reach, but trying to get the run on the science guys, I guess. So next one, Kevin.
All right, my next pick. This was a bit of a reach. I know this is early, but I just don't want to lose her. I love her for a litany of reasons. She, at one point, was the Queen of Wakanda. So I love this woman. I think she's awesome. I'm gonna go with Storr, aka Aurora Monroe. She's my flight pick. I think she's one of the most phenomenal characters ever written. She came in the '80s. She's been portrayed by Halle Berry. I think that she's overpowered. Like, I'm taking her for flight, but I know how overpowered she is. I know, what she's capable of doing and the problem with flight characters obviously is the fact that most flight characters have a litany of other powers. There are very few flight characters that are just flight. So I'm taking Storm early because I love Storm. I love Storm for a ton of reasons. I love her story. I love her background. I love how powerful she is. I love the fact that she was regarded as a god in her home country in Africa, and then later on a queen when she went to Wakanda. So personally, I'm going Storm.
Okay. Anybody got anything to add on that?
That was my next pick. You beat me to it.
Okay. Tyrell?
Yeah. So I think we're all going to be like saying things are like a reach here and there and everywhere, because we all value our people in different ways. For instance, for me, I had Storm a bit further down. I know Preston said that was the next pick. Kevin, good job. I probably would have used it as somewhere else, but I'm not too sure where like what category should fit in. Which leads you to this other character here, because there are quite a few totems out there, but there's one man with a plan that uses this totem, has complete mastery of it, and on top of that, he pretty much could use every single one of them. Hal Jordan, aka Green Lantern, aka that dude, is my totem pick. He is all powerful in every single ways. Whilst he is always like a jokester or a jerk to people, he has that Michael Jordan mentality. When it's game time, bro. But when he's not competing or when he's not having to work, he's gonna chill and do himself. Which is great about Shallow Hal. Preston, you're next. Actually, you know what? Does anybody have anything to say about Hal Jordan? Be my totem pick.
No, I mean, Green Lantern, I guess, is a terrible movie, but that's about all I can say because that was god awful. But
I mean, Hal Jordan is. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to talk over you. Hal Jordan, obviously one of, depending on how you look at the DC, whatever they say, but there's obviously like the big 3, 4, 5, whatever. Hal Jordan, when you look at DC's biggest heroes, Hal Jordan's definitely up there. So you're right. I don't see taking Hal Jordan as a reach. So yeah, Hal Jordan. He went kind of late in my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He did go kind of late. You're welcome, America.
All right, so I'm just seeing people just jumping in front of the picks that I'm looking at. Gosh, I really don't want to take this, but I'm going to, only because nobody's taking it. The one name that I told you before we started filming that I had written down, it was the only one. I was like, well, I know one person who does magic. I'm going with Doctor Strange. I tell you what, Doctor Strange, one of the coolest things about the Marvel universe is how they're able to integrate different things where the average person isn't going to say, oh yeah, those two totally go together. But to have the mystical realms that exist that Doctor Strange is able to navigate through and still be a part of everything else with the Avengers, obviously, in those films and those comics, I'm going with Doctor Strange.
Okay. I agree. As a magic pick, he is the supreme magic user of Marvel still, I believe, isn't he, Kevin?
Yeah, no, definitely. He is the Sorcerer Supreme. I think the only time he wasn't Sorcerer Supreme is during a period where they made it Dr. Voodoo, I think was the guy who was Sorcerer Supreme for a little while. So, no, that's 100%. Like, I get it 100%. I think Marvel doesn't have too many in the way of magic users, so that's the phenomenal pick in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, he was number one on my magic list, so yeah, annoying that he's gone. But so like I said at the beginning, I was going to pick some people that ones that I loved reading because it's quite limited, the ones I kind of had certain superheroes that I read and I really read their stuff only. And I'm going to have this person under flight, and I'm going to go the Silver Surfer. So, yeah, 1966 in Fantastic Four, Norrin Radd, and yeah, I mean, guy was just like given his powers, pretty much by Galactus, and is just a badass, and I just always really loved all of the storylines that they had with Silver Surfer. So he is my pick for Flight. I don't know if anybody has anything to say on that, but
I do. That's a phenomenal pick. And the fact that he went so late, I blame myself for not trying to pick up Silver Surfer early because I love Norrin Radd. I think Silver Surfer has an awesome backstory, and the way that he like kind of broke out of being Galactus' herald because he was just like, why am I doing this? Like, that's a great pick. Like, seriously, that was a really good pick. I know you guys you and Preston were knocking yourselves for not knowing, like, you're like, oh, we don't know where. No, that was a good pick. Wow. Wow.
All right. Well, so, and just, straight on the back of that, I know Tyrell probably knows this about me, but my favorite superhero that I've ever liked and read, and this isn't one that's going to get votes because a lot of people don't know who he is Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally as him, and obviously becoming Adam Warlock not long afterwards. I'm actually going to put him, under as Totem, because he starts the Infinity Watch in the comics. Is Adam Warlock who manages to defeat Thanos and take the gauntlet from him. He starts the Infinity Watch and then divides the stones up and gives them to various characters. And yeah, again, it's just one that I read a lot and always really enjoyed. So, and I kind of hope he comes into the MCU at some point, but I also kind of don't because I don't want to ruin a character that I really love. But yeah, so that's my pick for Totem. So we are back to Preston.
All right. So I was reading, and I loved how Kevin had to give us a description of what exactly Totem is. Can you repeat exactly your definition of Totem?
I don't remember my exact definition, but it is someone who draws power from something else. Their power comes from an idol or something that they use. So again, it's Juggernaut, Green Lantern, Star Sapphire, people whose powers are from something. Ben 10, that's what.
So I'm gonna go with my Totem pick here. Fair. And this one's I'm gonna start a lot of argument, which we haven't had yet. I'm going with Aquaman as my Totem pick. Let's go.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Aquaman is
yes.
my Totem pick.
Yes, he is. I asked for the definition. You gave me exactly what I wanted you to say. That has to be a Totem pick.
Dude, he just straight up just Jedi mind warped you, bro. Is that even a thing?
I used your description for my pick.
How? Define it.
He does draw his power from. He is more powerful in the water. That's first off.
That's okay.
He controls water. It's dumb. You're stupid.
So what are you defining his totem as, though?
The sea,
ocean,
water. Oh yeah.
I hate you. I hate you. I hope you know that.
But the power to control that comes from him being an Atlantean.
Right, but he's also okay. So here's my theory. Right, if you remove him from an area where there's water for him to control, he's powerless.
Not true.
He's
not true, but he's severely depowered.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that not count?
So I believe in the later ones, they actually redefined his powers to be that he can somewhat control the minds of anybody that is a descendant of a fish, which includes humans.
Okay, so then we're going to go with Aquaman, and we're going to put a huge asterisk next to it because I'm going with Aquaman.
Jeez, I'll give it to you.
Okay, how many of you guys were going to take him anyways? Let's be serious.
I mean, look, I love Aquaman, but he wasn't high on my list. Well, it looks like Kevin is frozen in a very weird position, but...
Oh, is he still frozen? Because I'm next, and I want him to hear this.
All right. You want to go ahead with it?
Kevin? Ooh. Wow. Kevin got so mad he left the meeting.
There's always
Sorry.
one a week. There's one a week that leaves. Last
All
week
right.
it was Tyrell.
So my person, I'm going with a magic user. All right, and he is one of the youngest Justice League members of all time, if not possibly the youngest. My boy Bailey Batson, aka Shazam. He is a strictly magic user, and there is no argument against that. Kevin, you came back just in time. I picked Shazam as my magic user to whip Superman's ass. He and which also could, if when Preston said Totem, I thought he was gonna pick Shazam at first because his power comes from the wizards and all the stupid stuff like that. But he's also a magic user, which to me, I remember like reading his little arc, and even the movie is fantastic as well. And also the way he beat up Superman was fantastic. I love whenever Superman loses in a fight, especially to kids.
All right, so
I mean, me personally, I'm
is
not against
Kevin
that pick.
still on?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're still there?
Am I here? Am I good?
Yep.
Am I here? Am I good? Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I can't wait for the frontier. Don't ever get fair. That's what it boils down to. All right, so my next two picks. All right, so first, I was initially going to pick this person under Magic, but now that I know Tyrell's not going to take them under Magic, I'm taking them as my totem pick, and then I'm going to pick another Magic user. Yeah, I'm going with Nobu. I'm going with Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate, who is one of my favorite Magic users.
Yes.
It sucks the way he has to do it. It sucks the way that he has to, basically override the brain of the person who is wearing the helmet of Fate. But I think he's one of the best Magic users. He's overpowered. Like, he's super overpowered. He's the Dr. Fate of Marvel. If Doctor Strange of Marvel, if Doctor Strange was ramped up to 10. I love Dr. Fate. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's amazing. I think his story arc is really good in the fact that he's intertwined with all of the Magic users of DC Comics. Zatanna wore the helmet. Zatanna's father wore the helmet. Also named Zatanna. And I think, I love Dr. Fate. So I'm going with Dr. Fate for my totem character. And then my Magic user, because I'm going Constantine. I'm going to pick Constantine because I love the show when it came out. I love everything about. I love the writing of Constantine. I love the fact that the creator of Constantine created it based on Sting, and then randomly bumped into a dude that looked like Constantine all over London for like a month. Like, I think that's amazing. That's just great writing, I think. So those are my two characters. I'm going with my totem is Dr. Fate, and my Magic user is Constantine.
Yeah, I mean, I had Dr. Fate ranked as my number 2 on Totem. I think there's been like 11 incarnations, I think it was, I saw of him. But yeah, and the helmet from, is it like an Egyptian god, I think, or something like that. So yeah, cool character. Anybody got anything to add on Kevin's picks?
No, for me personally, I didn't even think about Dr. Fate up until Kevin mentioned it, like off the cuff. I was just like, oh, Magic. And then I said Zatanna, and Kevin's like, oh, Magic. Magic character's kind of hard to come by. So, and that's one of the best ones.
Okay, so Tyrell, back to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list here, and I see I only have Flight, Strength, and my 2 mixed left to go with, right? Oh, perfect. So I was hoping and praying nobody was going to pick the person I'm about to pick right now. And the reason I picked Totem last time, because I wasn't sure if he would fit under Totem. I'm going to pick the Green Man, the other Green Man, Swamp Thing, under my mixed. He is, because he could either, I don't know if he could go, well, he might be Magic because he controls this, or he might be Totem because of the green, blah, blah, blah. He is your everyday hero that just likes to control stuff, and his comic line is brutal. My girlfriend is a huge, huge, huge fan of Alan Moore and of Swamp Thing, and if she finds out that I did not pick him, she'd probably leave me, and then I'll be homeless. So I'm glad that nobody picked him. And thank you guys. I'll pay you guys the money to let me get that later.
All right. So back to Preston.
All right, I am astonished this character hasn't come off the board. Mostly, maybe it's because my knowledge is far more in films and TV shows than comics are. But the fact that this character was so unbelievably overpowered in the movies is kind of shocking, and I'm putting her under my flight category. I'm going Captain Marvel.
Nice.
I was going to Captain Marvel, but I didn't trust Kevin not to pick Swamp Thing. I don't know why. So I decided I made sure I got him, and also Captain Marvel was going to be my flight person. So good job.
So I'm presuming then by you referring to it as her, you're going with Carol Danvers and not not as Marvel or one of the other. I think there's seven incarnations of Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it. I think that's a great pick. She's definitely on my list. She's under my flex category, flex mix. But no, I love Carol Danvers way back in the day when they first announced that they were pulling her out of the coma to make her Captain Marvel. Loved it. I think that's a great pick.
Okay. So I've got two picks, but I'm going to take one of them is going to be my speed pick because there's, like we've said before, true people that are speed. I don't think there's a huge amount of them, and Flash is already gone, and Kevin and Preston still have to pick theirs, so it'll put some pressure on you guys. I have two options here. I was kind of considering North Star because it's the first openly gay character, and I quite like that. But I think I'm going to have to go Quicksilver because to me, it's the only other one that's, probably would give Flash a good run for the money. But yeah, Quicksilver will be my speed pick. And then I am left with Magic, Science. Oh dear. So Magic. I feel like some people may disagree on this one. I'm not sure how it would be defined necessarily, but for Magic, I am going to go Spectre. And reason for that being, I just feel the abilities to be able to warp reality, manipulate the cosmos, and having immortality makes him probably one of, if not the strongest Magic, because I think he has all the abilities of Doctor Strange, but is immortal. So that to me is a big win. So yeah, I will go Spectre as my Magic pick.
I don't disagree with that. Spectre was actually on my list. I had Spectre going in my. Wow, where's he at? I had Spectre in my fourth round. Mainly because I did not know where to put him because I know he's one of those, all beings that's super strong, and he could be considered an anti-hero at times, but for the most part, he is considered a hero because he usually errs on the side of good, and he helps people. He helps set the balance the right way. So good pick.
So Preston, back to you. You have speed, strength, and one flex.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised I've left strength, but I feel like I have a lot more options there. And you're right. In my head, you only went with Quicksilver because you were like, I'm sure Preston's never heard of North Star. I'm going to go with Quicksilver because it's just going to mean he can't take him, which is a good pick, by the way. But I am going to go in my speed category, and I'm going to take a character who I was super. By the way, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they don't get enough credit. That's one of my favorite TV shows on, and this character is absolutely awesome in it. The Inhuman herself, Yo-Yo Elena Rodriguez, is going to be my speed pick.
Fantastic. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., by the way. Next season's coming out, I think, in a month from now. Super excited. We should have a watch party via Zoom or via whatever app we're using at the time because I know we're not going to be out public. My only problem with that is that her speed is so limited to pretty much there and back. And
I think
it.
that's really awesome, though. It's like you're always going to come back to where you started. And I think that's, A, kind of poetic if you think about it. But B, it's also like, you'll never know it was even me.
Yeah, I know. Look, I get it. It is super. It is that speed, and it's all about that sick nasty speed, bro. You know, so I gotta give it to you.
So back to Tyrell.
Okay, whew, man, I'm getting to the nitty gritty here. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm only picking people that I think would bother Kevin. Okay.
Wow.
So with that being said, I am going to go with my dude Nova for Flight. He is pretty much part of the Nova Corps, kind of like the Green Lantern people of Marvel, here and there, just a little bit. But I read what I'm quite sure it's still not going on. But the most recent one where he was a little kid, it was looking for his father. Again, dope series. Nova's fantastic. I think he's gonna be the next Guardians, I believe. That's been dropped. Yeah.
All right. So Kevin, you have 2 picks back to back, and you have speed, strength, and mix to follow.
Okay, so real quick before we even do that, I just want to like Tyrell's pick. You know that's the reason that I hated Guardians, and I loved Star-Lord was one of my favorite superheroes. So for them to remove Nova, who he had like this buddy cop relationship with, like that was a big deal for me. So I love that pick. I know you're trying to make me mad, but you're not gonna make me mad like with a pick that I'm like, yes, like I love that pick. All right, so I'm not worried going forward because the rest of my draft, like I got it. Like I'm getting all the characters I want from this point forward. So I'm gonna go with my super strength character next. Scott, tell your wife that she should be proud and happy because I know she's gonna love this pick. I'm gonna go with one of the most brutal fighters for my super strength pick in DC. She's nasty. She don't give a damn. She'll be anybody. I'm going with Diana Prince. I'm going with Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman has been one of my favorite characters for a long time because where Superman and Batman are like, as the big three are like, maybe we shouldn't do that. She's like, I'm just gonna beat this dude's ass. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm gonna go fight this dude right now. And I love that about Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman is one of my favorite characters. She's again very dedicated to her cause and she's very righteous, but she will beat anybody's ass. I remember the way they wasn't it during the Tower of Babel series, the way they killed her was, or the way they tried to kill her was by using her own strength against her, which is the fact that she would exhaust herself by fighting somebody before she lets them win. So yeah, I'm going Wonder Woman 100%. That's my next pick.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that Wonder Woman lasted this long. And actually, I had her in my flex category as one of those kind of ones that I would have taken there. But obviously, being, I guess, daughter of like Zeus and all that kind of stuff, I guess that's what they started to delve into later on with her. But great pick. And then
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
I was actually just Googling to make sure that I was right before I was going to pick her next about Flight, to make sure they retconned her to make sure she's going to fly and not that she's flying an invisible airplane again. So, good job.
All right. So, Kevin, where are you going next?
My next pick is going to be a flex pick. So, initially, just to be honest, I was going to go the Blue Marvel, but I don't know enough about the Blue Marvel to go with the Blue Marvel. I want to, but I would have to do more research, before I made a pick like that, because I want people like look at me and say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. So what I'm going to go with is I'm going with my man, Bob Reynolds. I'm going with the Sentry. I love the Sentry when he's a hero. I think the Sentry is awesome. Another character who has, he has a lot of mental health issues, but he's one of the strongest characters in Marvel when he's a hero. Or when he's a villain. I think a lot of the run that they had with the Sentry, one of Marvel's Supermen. Marvel has a couple of them, Hyperion, Sentry, I forgot who else, but it's one of the characters that's, impervious to bullets and whatnot. But I love the Sentry. I think the Sentry was written very well. I think him being an agoraphobic and other issues are phenomenal. So I'm going with the Sentry. Love him. Think he's a great pick.
Yeah, I had Sentry ranked really highly in my mixed category. Gets the powers from they believe from the serum, the super soldier serum that I think is 100,000 times stronger than Captain America's serum. So yeah, that gives you, I guess, a good idea of how powerful Sentry is. And did you say you're putting him in your flex?
Yes, he's my last flex character.
Okay.
Love the Sentry. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So back to you, Tyrell.
Fantastic, Kevin. I'm glad you picked Sentry. I'm glad you picked Bob. So, because I'm going to pick one of the only characters that possibly stands a chance of beating him. Okay? This character has probably beaten the most villains and also Avengers of all time. Your girl, my girl, Squirrel Girl. Let's go! Noreen Green.
God.
She's going under my super strength because she does have superhuman strength. And on top of that, apparently, I just read this now. She has superhuman jaw strength as well. She can chew through a steel door in seconds. Everything she has done is canon, which means she is one of the most unbeatable characters in Marvel history. And I am not even joking about that. The doorbell little thing is my super pick.
My concern with this is a bit like the Aquaman pick is strength her kind of main power?
No, here's the thing. We never said about their main powers. Doesn't have to be. No, it doesn't. You can't shake your head yes and say it has to. It doesn't have to be.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, my bad.
One of the biggest things.
No, it is.
Yeah. My bad.
Okay, so you have a flex spot left when he comes back round. So
Yep.
back to you, Preston.
All right. So I've got to fill out my strength, and I've got one flex spot open. I know where I want to go, but I don't know if I should. All right. So So I'm going to go on my strength spot. I had one character who would probably be the consensus among the people I'm considering, but I can't choose him because, believe it or not, his character name is also a mascot of a team I refuse to root for. So I'm not going to pick him. Instead, because I'm a huge fan of Netflix and all the shows that they come out, I'm going with Harlem's hero, Luke Cage. He's going to be my strength character.
Okay.
Honestly, even before Netflix, Luke Cage is one of the greatest defenders, no pun intended, superheroes. Based off of he was made during a time where, again, much like the movies that we talked about last week, where black people needed somebody, and they wrote him into being this great character, and then they just kept on throwing him into stuff, and now his best friend is, unfortunately, part of a terrible TV show, movie universe now, TV universe. Is Danny Rand, and as and they're a great combination on the book wise, but great pick. I picked up some of his comics a couple years ago. I loved reading them. His villains are always weird and somehow relevant within our communities, and it's just awesome. Good job.
All right, so I have 2 picks back to back, and I have a science and flex spot to fill. So I'm torn between 2 people with regards to my flex spot, and it is the 2 options are actually a mother and a daughter, and I'm not too sure which ones to pick. But I think I will go with the slightly more obvious one, and I am going to go with Jean Grey / Phoenix Force, just because of the true power that she has, particularly when she binds with Phoenix Force and is able to pretty much beat anyone. And that also leads me to science. Now, I think I'm going to have to argue for this person if I take them, but let me just make a note before I forget. So Jean Grey, and then now Iron Man is still on the board here. So that would be kind of a very obvious pick. My not so obvious pick, I was thinking about going Captain Britain, obviously. Now, the main reason for that being is that Captain Britain would whoop Captain America's ass. Like, it's not even a competition.
Well, before you continue, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, this Captain Britain, he's more of an experiment than Cap ever was and ever will be. Like, they give this guy laser beams, bro. I
Right.
mean,
but he has a PhD in physics and is super, super intelligent. But yeah, he has all these like advanced like perceptions and things like that Captain America doesn't have. Yeah, he can shoot like laser beams and all sorts of crazy stuff. So
just do it for the Queen.
I will go Captain Britain.
Let's go.
Brian Braddock, here we go.
I respect it because I know that you're coming in place of like country and like, you know, like countrymen and all that stuff. So I'm not mad at that pick at all. Just I know like you're British. Like, oh well, not British. All right, I don't want to get this wrong. I always get that shit wrong. But I know that you're
British.
doing it for
That's fine.
British. Okay, you're doing it for home and country, so I get it. Also, yeah, Captain Britain's dope. You know, like he has Captain America shows up with a shield. Captain America shows up with a sword. I think the sword is way better than the shield. So, yo, you got my respect 100%. I love that pick.
All right, so Preston, final pick, please.
All right, I kind of fleeced you into that because I only wanted to make this pick similar to why Ponch wanted to make the pick about earlier, just to make Kevin mad because I know how much he can't stand this guy or this character in the movies. And Kevin, I love you 3000. I'm going Iron Man for my flex. Just because I love you.
All right, Tyrell, your final pick.
Okay, guys, I'm in what they call a pickle here, because I have about 5 people that I really want to choose from. So you have to give me like 2 seconds, 5 seconds.
We gave you 7 rounds.
Huh?
We gave you 7 rounds to think about it.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't think you guys would be this dumb and not pick these characters. And also, you kind of ruined half of my board with things like that. Anyway, I'm going to go with Daredevil as my mixed pick. He is my last pick. My boy Matt, as we like to call him on the streets, M Dog, you know, and Froggy. Everything about him is great. He is a blind. This is so stupid. He reminds me very much of a blind Spider-Man.
That can't shoot webs.
That can't shoot webs. But you know, he has a very awesome like rogue gallery, even though he shares it quite a bit with the Spider-Man universe and stuff like that. But you know, he's like Bullseye. One of his main villain, Bullseye, is one of the dopest characters of all time. I wish I could choose Bullseye as a you know person, but instead I had to go with Daredevil because he's so great, and his never quit attitude is also part of my thing I have going on here.
All right, so Kevin, to wrap it up with Speed.
All right. I honestly wasn't even worried about Speed because it's not like for me it was not a big deal, but the character that I picked is the son of a character that I picked earlier. I'm going with Azari T'Chaka Evan Duke. I'm going with the son of Storm. The Storm Black Panther. I think that character is amazing. He's not the fastest, obviously, but for me, speed isn't that important. I have no problem buying into a character like Azari because why not? But no, yeah, that's it. I'm going with
Okay.
the son of Black Panther and Storm.
Okay, so I mean, look, there's a lot of people on this list. I'm sure people broke some pretty extensive lists for this one, and I mean, looking at mine, there's probably at least 50% of them weren't taken. Does anybody want to do another flex round?
Yeah, let's do another flex round. I'm down for that.
One
Yeah,
quick flex round.
So,
One more.
Yep.
So let's go. Let's start with you, Kevin. Someone from your board that you would take at this point.
Let's see. Honestly, all right. So Tyrell picked everybody's favorite Green Lantern, which was what's this man's name? Hal Jordan. Am I allowed to take John Stewart? Am I allowed to
We established this.
like the Black Green Lantern? No, I can't do it. All right, fine then. I'll go. The Blue Marvel. I'm going the Blue Marvel. I'm going one of the strongest characters in Marvel. I think the Blue Marvel is phenomenal. I watched him knock. I remember reading like issue where he knocked the Hulk out with no like literally just knocked the man out, and Carol Danvers like was stunned by the fact that he was able to knock the Hulk out with one punch. So yeah, I'm going Blue Marvel.
Okay. I mean, I can't really argue with that because it's such a great pick, really. Huh. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, so looking at my board, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on my board still, and that's still and mind you, I have to take him because he's actually, you know what? I'm not gonna take him. I'm gonna take the one person that should have whipped Thanos' ass. She was whipping his ass before he had to call down the firestorm. Scarlet Witch. Okay.
Scarlet.
Now, her powers in the movie does not do her any justice because she is such a dope ass character in the comic books, and like and thankfully they did scale down her power just a little bit. Because in order to wipe out all of the mutant humanity with a whisper is pretty intense. But and also I think this is the one superpower that I wish I would ever have, which is the ability to change probability and use pretty much that's just it. The power of probability. But I guess in the movie she uses like hexes and whatever kind of magic stuff she does. But Scarlet Witch, she's that dude.
All right. Preston.
That's a great pick, and especially when a conversation we had earlier, she. I wasn't prepared for this. You put me through a loop because I really don't want to go back and pick this guy. But I guess if I'm gonna round out actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm gonna stay true to my Buckeye ways. I'm not gonna choose that man for his name alone. Instead, I'm going to choose somebody. This is going to get a lot of backlash because there's really nothing super about him other than his attitude. I mean, obviously, different interpretations of the comics have given him more powers than some of the films and TV shows have. But I'm going with Frank Castle, the Punisher.
Let's go.
Just in case I need to eliminate somebody, I know I've got somebody who can get it done.
All right. Go ahead.
Frank Castle was actually pretty high on my list because everybody's afraid of him. Literally, everybody's afraid of him. Because he is about the ultimate justice. He makes sure that his villains don't come back. Obviously some do because they're superpowers stuff like that. But I mean, he's great. I believe there was he just got done with a really weird run as being the Cosmic Silver Surfer, and he was doing some really weird stuff. He also had a run as a Ghost Rider recently, to which he was doing some really weird stuff. But the true Frank Castle is amazing. Not Franken Castle. Stay away from
him. So to kind of, I'm going to wrap up this draft, but to kind of read you through, my board and some of the ones that I, kind of have on my list left over. In the flight category, I have my top left is Martian Manhunter. I feel like he'd probably be a pretty good pick. I have North Star is still on the board. He was one of my other for speed. Strength, I've got Hercules, Colossus, She-Hulk. They're ones that didn't get taken. Magic, I've got Wiccan and Brother Voodoo, who is a pretty cool character. Then, other ones I've got that I like, people like Raven from Teen Titans, and, great kind of storylines. Wolverine, I'm pretty certain Captain America didn't get taken. Black Panther didn't get taken. Was that good to Black Panther or Captain America?
Captain America.
Okay.
I almost took Cap with that pick, by the way, but I was like, you know what? I had to go Scarlet Witch.
I know you did.
I think to kind of round out my team, I am going to go, as he was one of the original members of the Justice League, I'm going to go Martian Manhunter.
Nice.
Solid pick.
Yep.
Good pick. Jones, who's terrified of fire.
So, well, I think there's some very interesting picks. Like I say, some pretty big names that didn't make the cut. Wolverine, Ghost Rider, they didn't make the cut.
A lot of X-Men.
So very few X-Men. Yeah.
I just want to say, because I got something wrong. So you said Brother Voodoo. I called him Dr. Voodoo earlier, and I feel very stupid about that one. So my apologies. It is Brother Voodoo. You are right. My bad.
Right. That's all right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Yes. I will post this online like we did last time, post the results, and I will also get the video on tomorrow. And enjoy draft weekend. May your teams do well. I mean, I know there's 3 Cowboys fans on here. And 1 fan.
We're all the same team. It's just me.
So, but yeah. But it's been a pleasure, and we'll discuss what our next draft will be in the coming few days.
All right, sounds good, man. Great, guys. It was great playing with you guys and doing dumb stuff. Have a good one.
All right. Take it easy.